Once again, someone's right and tried to, uh, what do you call it? Rebuttal, exculpatory, defame. I don't know what you call it, but they wrote and they go on and on and on. And they say they have no details. Actually, there are no details from the time Bundy drops out of Puget Sound in March of 1967 until he shows up at Stanford in June of 24. There may be a sentence somewhere that his parents took him to the airport. There may be Miss Bundy says he called. Well, back then, if you put money in a phone booth, you could call from anywhere and say, I love it down here in San Francisco. It doesn't matter because you could make that phone call from anywhere and she wouldn't know where you were calling from. There was no telltale sign. But anyway, Miss Grace, because of that, I had to go researching on key fobs from the 1960s, 30s, 50s, on and on. In the United States of America, cars would usually be 1,000 key profiles for each model. For instance, Ford would have 1,000 profiles. 1,000 people would have a different key. But that 1,001 would have the same key as somebody among the first 1,000, okay? The next 1,000 would have a key like matching the other 1,000, okay? Does it make sense? In other words, in the 1960s, you could take one key, if it happened to be like a Ford truck, it may fit the other Ford truck and operate. That's 1 in 1,000. Guess how many profiles Volkswagen had on the B-double and Carnegie and so forth? Guess how many profiles they had? 13. This is an interesting fact because Bundy did like Volkswagens. In 1954, after he had the Plymouth, he bought a 1933 Plymouth. He bought a 1954, I call it gray-blue Volkswagen. I don't know how long he had it. He had a friend named Martin, I think that was an attorney, and during one of his trips with Diane, he used Martin's VW for some reason. He had access to Liz's Seafoam Volkswagen. He had his 68 tan Volkswagen. In Tallahassee, he claims he took a girl's black souped-up Volkswagen, but decided not to use it, I think because it had 200,000 miles on it, and he could tell somebody had lovingly cared for it or something. He also had the orange Volkswagen he was driving west. But it is amazing to me, and there's no telling. Ann Rule said he loved his Volkswagens. There's no telling. There's a Volkswagen that showed up in 1974 in Jacksonville. I'm sorry, I know what I saw. But it is fascinating to me when somebody throws a lug wrench, no pun intended, into whatever I'm trying to research. I'll research it further. And it turns out that Volkswagen, maybe not having the same standard, Germany is homostasis. Germany is a same group of people. They respect each other. I mean, they had a new Germany after World War II anyway. They probably still have a new Germany, Merkel and everybody. But they only had 13 key fobs. 13. If you had a pack of keys from 2 or 3 of those, you could probably find a Volkswagen the key would fit and turn on pretty easy. If you had maybe 7 keys from friends and families and stealing at the dealership and stuff, if you had about 12 or 13 keys, and Liz Clover found a bowl of keys. She didn't know what they went to. All right. Just wanted to say that real quick because it is so irritating. It's irritating, Mrs. Grace. I'm getting too old, it's wrong.